All right, so we got Prince, last Diddy recording, played in trial. Prince is going to expose him. Now, first and foremost, we know Prince is unalive, no longer on Earth. You know, they say it was on foul play in his scenario as well. But do I think it's a recording? If they are a recording, I don't think they played it in trial. I think they probably going to play it eventually one day further on down the line. But we're going to check it out because this is what the video says, right? Spicy.
I must say that the names surfacing in Diddy's trial are already shocking, but Prince being on that list was definitely not on my bingo card. Yes, we know that Diddy used Prince's house for some of his wildest parties based on what Jason Lee spilled.
The first Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in the party.
But here's the twist. What if Prince had the cameras rolling the whole time? He was known
Wow.
for being private, calculated, and always in control. So what if he had incriminating footage and that's why he never attended the parties? Well, some folks definitely believe he may have kept the footage or even handed it over to someone before he passed. And now whispers are growing that his name could come up in court. Child, this trial is about to be one for the books, and I'm here for all of it. Okay, of course we already have a few names that came up during the jury selection, and some of them are people we never really expected to make the cut, like Michelle Williams, Robert Downey Jr., Mike Myers, and Lauren London. But then there are names we definitely expected to come up, like Cassie, who filed the first lawsuit. Remember, Cassie said in her lawsuit that a lot of things that happened to her were witnessed by Diddy's staff and employees of Bad Boy Entertainment and Diddy's related businesses, but no one dared to speak up. In fact, these assistants were the ones tasked with the responsibility of taking gifts to Cassie after a DV incident. And Cassie even said in the lawsuit that the assistants were also the ones who would help to set up the freak-offs where everything took place, including by setting up the hotel suites with baby oil and Astroglide. Cassie even said in the lawsuit that after one of the incidents, Diddy's head of security...
You know what? Maybe it's me, bro. Can somebody help me out in the comment section, bro? But what exactly is Astroglide? I don't know. Hey, listen, if I'm slow, I'm slow. But what is Astroglide, bro? It sounds like some type of slippery substance, of course. Now, I know what baby oil is. But Astroglide, I never heard of Astroglide, bro. What is this used for anyway?
and assistant saw her, and they both began to cry. So we expect a lot of these staff members to be summoned. Anywho, Harve Pierre, who was implicated in a lawsuit against Diddy filed by a Jane Doe, also made the cut. She claimed Harve Pierre convinced her to fly from Detroit to New Jersey, where she was allegedly SA'd by him and Diddy. Other than Harve, Young Miami, who was on Diddy's payroll and was allegedly even a transporter of substances, was also mentioned in the jury selection process. Someone else on the list is Dallas Austin. And all I could gather is that
in the jury
was the
selection process,
reporter, Diddy's late wife, who became a point of conversation as people speculated if Diddy had something to do with her sudden death. There's also Lorianne Gibson, who filed a complaint about Diddy to the police back in 2007, claiming Diddy picked up a chair, threatening her on the set of MTV's Making the Band. Aubrey O'Day was also mentioned, but she has been outspoken in her support for Cassie going public with her allegations against Diddy. And she also accused him of making his own inappropriate advances towards her. Former Danity Kane member Dawn Richard also made the cut, but we also know that she previously sued Diddy, accusing him of SA. The suit accused Diddy of beginning his alleged tirade when she began filming MTV's Making the Band, saying that he used demeaning insults toward female participants. Then while working on music, the suit claimed that Diddy forced Dawn to rehearse for hours with no sleep and took advantage of her. Dawn Richard also claimed she witnessed Diddy get physical with Cassie while high. In addition, Michael B. Jordan was also mentioned, but we know he was referenced in Cassie's lawsuit because the two had a flirty relationship in 2015. Well, the prosecution is likely to summon most of Cassie's exes, mostly because we know about Kid Cudi, whose car was blown up by Diddy because he had something going on with Cassie. According to Cassie, she briefly had a fling with Kid Cudi in 2011 when she and Diddy were going through what she called a rough patch. And after she reunited with Diddy, he found some emails between Kid Cudi and Cassie, and that is when he grew progressively angry. In fact, the lawsuit says that Diddy wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home with his friends when he blew up his car. And true to his word, Kid Cudi's car did blow up in his driveway. Well, we expect a bunch.
Okay, but the thing about it is this, right? Right now, bro, to me, these sound like a jealous boyfriend. It don't sound like no sex trafficking. It sound like they were some kinky, freaky people. But, you know, people break up all the time and make up all the time. And maybe they have a relationship like that off and on. So you never know, man. I mean, people do it. I mean, they celebrities, of course, but people break up and make up all the time.
Of other names to come up during the trial, but like I said, Prince was not on my bingo card, and especially not about him allegedly having a tape on Diddy. Makes me wonder, could this have had anything to do with Prince's death? Could this be the deep dark secret about his death, y'all? Well, we know that Prince knew a few days before his death that it was the end of the road for him, and he even posted a picture of himself which contained a since deleted message, just when you thought you were safe. In fact, during his final appearance at a party at Paisley Park, just after his reported treatment and days before his death, Prince reportedly told attendees, wait a few days before you waste any prayers. And just like he had predicted, Prince died at age 57 after being found unresponsive at his estate in Minnesota. At the time, health officials determined Prince died of an accidental fentanyl OD after unknowingly taking counterfeit Vicodin laced with the highly potent synthetic opioid. But it never made sense that clean living Prince died of an OD.
Did he have health problems?
That I don't know, right? What I know is that he was really health conscious. He was a vegan. He didn't abuse alcohol. I didn't know of him abusing drugs. He worked out, so, that also really concerned me because it made me think that, wow, so you mean you do all these things to take care of yourself and you die so young?
So the thing about Prince is that he fought with
It's
people
possible.
before he died, especially
It
over
is
ownership
possible.
of and control over his music. He waged a career-long battle against any company that he felt stood in the way of artists' rights and money. And allegedly, he paid the ultimate price for that, death. Whether Warner Brothers was involved or not with having him unalived is still up for debate. But a lot of his fans definitely think that they were involved in his death. See, he was signed to Warner Music in 1977 when he was just 18. And even though the album he released between 1978 and 1981 did not do that well, he was kept on the label, as he was regarded as a musician that reflected well on Warner, which at the time was a company that appeared to invest long-term in serious talent. In 1982, 1 year after MTV launched, Prince released more music, and he went top 10 in the US for the first time, and became part of a new breed of musicians who understood the power of the music video as a way to market an artist and build their own iconography and mythology. At this point, fans were copying his look, and by 1984, with the release of Purple Rain, he was arguably the biggest and certainly the most exciting pop star on the planet. But it reached a point where Prince didn't like how Warner owned and controlled his name, as well as any music released under that name. He even dramatically changed his name to that of a symbol and was referred to as Symbol, Squiggle, or the artist formerly known as Prince. And he was actually pretty vocal about what was happening.
On December 31st, 1999, my publishing contract with Warner Chappell expired, thus emancipating the name I was given before birth, Prince, from all long-term restrictive documents.
I had searched deep within my heart and spirit, and I wanted to make a change and move to a new plateau in my life. And one of the ways in which I did that was to change my name. It sort of divorced me from the past and all the hang-ups that go along with it, as it's been well chronicled in deep dispute with my record label.
Which is Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah. We had some issues that were basically about ownership of the music and how often I was supposed to record and things like that. I really searched deep within to find out the answer to whether fame was most important to me or my spiritual well-being, and I chose the latter.
But you know what? Diddy was in bed
Wow.
with the people Prince was exposing, and he and Warner Music Group inked a joint venture deal that gave the record company a 50% stake in Diddy's Bad Boy Records label. Under the deal, Warner would market and handle digital and physical distribution of Bad Boy's catalog releases worldwide, and the label's roster of current and former artists. In fact, while speaking about the deal, Diddy even said there have been a lot of boutique record labels that come and go, and we're still here. This has ensured for the next couple of years that we have the right financial backing, the right financial structure, the right partners to remain a force in the music industry. Other than this, it has also been said that Prince possibly knew about the freak-offs Diddy was having and chose to stay as far away from him as possible. Remember, Jason Lee said that the first Diddy party he attended was at Prince's house, and a strange thing he realized was that no one was allowed to bring their own security to the party.
The first Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in the party.
So Prince let Diddy throw those infamous parties at his house. No big secret there. But here's where it gets interesting. What if the security cameras were on the whole time? I mean, this is Prince we're talking about, guys. Meticulous, private, always a step ahead. What if he kept the footage or even handed it off to someone he trusted? Now, there are whispers that his name might come up in the trial, and that makes you think, right? Maybe the purple one knew more than he ever let on, and maybe this may have caused him his life. Maybe. Remember, even before Prince's sister Tika Nelson died, she was talking about how Prince told her he was in trouble just a few days before he died. I know there have been talks in the past about how Prince and Tika were never close, but contrary to what people may think, they were actually pretty close. In fact, back in 2018, Tika said that she and her brother were very close growing up, and he was kind of told by her parents that he would have to take care of her. So wherever he went, she had to go too. She also shared that Prince helped save her life by getting her into rehab when she was struggling with substance misuse.
Save your life and getting you into rehab.
Yes, he did. I had a long time kind of battling those things, and after my father passed, it got really bad. And so I called up Big Bruh to help. He said, okay, when and where.
In fact, when Prince realized that it was
That
almost
was good.
the end of the road for him, he started preparing Tika for his death. And according to what she said, Prince prepared her for 2 years.
It wasn't hard at all. It was a 2-second phone call. He's gone. I had been preparing for 2 years, so I knew that it was coming.
What does that mean?
He said it a couple of years ago.
What would he say?
What he said was, I've done everything that I've come to do. So I was crushed for about two years.
In addition, while speaking to the Minnesota Star Tribune about retiring from performing and working on a memoir, Tika also recalled the last conversation she had with her brother 4 days before his death, saying, "He kept avoiding questions. I kept getting mad. I felt like, talk to me for 2 seconds. He'd change the subject, make a joke, and then we'd both laugh. A couple of times I said, how are you really? He didn't go into anything with me. That was bothering me, and he knew it was, but that was all he wanted to tell me." So one thing we know for certain is that there was a lot going on with Prince in the days before he died. Whether it had anything to do with Diddy or not is still a mystery. And if his name will actually come up in court, I don't know. We just have to wait and see. But meanwhile, let me know what you think about Prince allegedly having recording of Diddy in the comments.
Wow. Jason Lee said it. He said the first Diddy party that he ever went to was at Prince's house. Prince probably had cameras everywhere too, bro. Surveillance cameras, bro. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? So I'm pretty sure he got some things on footage. I'm pretty sure. That could possibly very well be why he's no longer with us. But hey, RIP to Prince. And if it comes out in this Diddy trial, this is going to be the biggest trial in celebrity history. I'm telling you.